Unified dynamics. Distinction theory.
Theoretical physics eventually has to face the most difficult question in science. Why is there something rather than nothing? But trying to answer that question has led modern physics into a trap. We have concepts like the string theory landscape or infinite pre-Big Bang multiverses. These ideas possess intense mathematical elegance, but they push us deep into a realm where nothing can actually be observed. The cost of chasing that elegance is steep. When we prioritize equations over hard data, we risk leaving empirical evidence behind entirely. The Unified Dynamics framework, developed by Benjamin Mays, offers a different approach. Instead of pretending the unobservable origins of reality don't matter or letting them infect testable physics, this framework structurally quarantines them. By enforcing a strict epistemic boundary, the theory prevents untestable ideas from bleeding into observable facts. It is a mathematical discipline designed to keep theoretical physics from turning into science fiction. The framework achieves this by splitting itself into two separate halves. The first is distinction theory, which maps the underlying generative logic of the universe. The second is unified dynamics, which acts as the observable physical engine. Between these two domains sits an impenetrable epistemic firewall. This rigid boundary mathematically separates the logical origin of reality from the measurable universe. Its rule is absolute. If a concept is purely pre-geometric, it is blocked. It cannot cross into the physical engine domain. This two-chambered structure ensures that the hardest philosophical questions have to be entirely resolved on their own side of the wall, long before any testable physics is allowed to occur. Let's step into Sector 1, distinction theory. The starting point here is called the undifferentiated ground. Think of it as a state of maximal uniformity. There is no physical space, no time, and zero dimensions. But that ground state is mathematically unstable. That instability forces the universe's very first event. A single zero-dimensional point splits to form a one-dimensional line. This is the first distinction, the primitive act of separating one thing from another. From that initial split, the logic unfolds recursively. The one-dimensional line branches out and connects its endpoints, forming a closed, stable, two-dimensional triangle. Up to this exact stage, everything we are looking at is pure logic and spatial relations. There is absolutely no physical matter yet. Because these flat lower dimensions cannot hold any volumetric substance, the framework's own laws step in. Distinction theory is strictly barred from making empirical claims about reality. The phase transition happens right here. The two-dimensional triangle lifts its center and locks into a stable three-dimensional tetrahedron, a shape the framework calls K4. This moment of three-dimensional volumetric closure actually ignites space itself. It breaks cleanly through the firewall, crystallizing into a dense repeating network. Physics can officially begin. Welcome to Sector 2, Unified Dynamics. This is the falsifiable, three-dimensional geometric engine where the rules of peer-review-ready science lock into place. Once inside this domain, the geometry forces strict outputs. The framework generates exactly 28 zero-parameter predictions, which means it derives the precise values of the standard model gauge couplings using structure alone, with zero manual fine-tuning. To prove its authority in the real world, the engine natively derives the mass of the Higgs boson at exactly 125.0 giga-electronvolts. Unified dynamics validates itself entirely through these measurable, three-dimensional observables. It leaves the unobservable speculation completely behind. That firewall remains actively locked on architecture from hypothesizing about phenomena we cannot observe, like infinite multiverses. There is only one exception. An unobservable theory is permitted if, and only if, it outputs a highly specific, computationally testable physical signature in 3 dimensions. This requirement is enforced by the F6 lattice simulation. It acts as the ultimate computational falsifier, directly measuring the geometric structures the theory produces. If a theoretical model fails to produce a stable, testable geometric reality, this computational boundary instantly kills it. By maintaining this two-chambered system, the framework addresses the philosophical origin of existence while fiercely protecting the empirical integrity of physical law. As the framework's defining maxim states, the field is the zero, dynamics is the recursion, the physics is the fixed point.